What is up, Course Wizards? Welcome to yet another episode of the Course Wizards podcast. I'm here with my host, Christopher Maselli. What's happening, Chris? Long time no see. It's been
Mm,
5 minutes.
It's been 5 minutes because we're knocking out a couple at a time here. And I'll tell you, when we get into this online apps and stuff that we can use for our courses, I think it just charges us both up and we get going. And I hope you as listeners enjoy it too, because man, we get into all kinds of cool stuff that you can do, which is what's going to happen today, isn't
It's about to happen, Chris. It's about to go down.
it? What
So
are we talking
today,
about?
today we're talking about AI, Chris, because why not? The world is talking about AI, and what you, Chris and I are going to discuss today is how course creators can inject AI into the different parts of our AI life, whether it's course creation, whether you're a podcaster, whether you're a YouTuber, whether you're a blogger, everywhere you can inject AI. Why not use its help? Because virtual assistants, Chris, are getting expensive.
Yes. And this is really these are not how many things don't matter, but they do matter. And what I mean by that is they matter that you have, for instance, a description on your YouTube video, but it's not like you need to spend an hour of your time coming up with a good description. AI can help you do that. And it's like I said, it's not like you're trying to compose a masterpiece here. You just want something that actually describes what's on your video, works well, and so that's what we're gonna look at is places that you can use AI for things like that.
And not just that, Chris, like the data set that has been fed to AI is far more robust than what we can come up with. And I'm not just saying toss our brains out. I fear for the younger generation with the proliferation of AI tools, but use it to your advantage. And
Mhm.
how can you get better where now you have access to these tools where others had to pay copywriters thousands of dollars to get something like this out the door. And I'm going to show you a message of an email that I asked AI to rewrite for a product that I was promoting. And you might have got that email, Chris. It was
Yes.
for the confetti page.
Yes.
And that email that I got from the founder was good, but AI notched, just top notched it to even better.
Alright, let's see it. So should I switch to your screen?
Yeah, let's switch to my screen. I'm going to start with the first thing and the most simplest of things that we can all improve. I feel like we all can benefit from this, not just you or me in particular. And Chris, just to pick on an example, I'm going to pick on myself and go to my templates page where I sell the templates for New Zenler schools, right?
Yes.
What I would do is I'll take this headline and subheadline and go into ChatGPT, free to use. I'm using 3.5 on the paid version. You have 4, but I feel like 4 GPT-4's quality has gone down quite a bit. So I'm going back to 3.5.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do here is just say rewrite, right? Rewrite this landing page copy or not even copy, landing page headline and make it more precise.
Precise,
And then just
interesting.
paste what I copied. And it didn't even take a second. It's like experience the power of efficiency introducing ZZ templates for your New Zealand school. It just says it super simply right there.
Yes, it sure
Whereas
does.
my one before this was saying, what if you could get everything done in a single day, introducing ZZ templates, pre-built templates for your New Zealand school. So that was a lot to read. Now this one is much simpler. And what I can say is if I don't like it, I can say, give me 3 more. And now I have 3 more variations of the same headline and subheadline.
And they're very good. For those of you who are listening to our podcast today, we always have another version of it on YouTube. So if we're doing something that you wanna see the demonstration of, jump over to YouTube and watch us there.
Yep. Now let's try this. Rewrite it as if you are a world class copywriter. I don't know if that really does anything, but I just like to use different prompts and see what
Yeah.
it comes up. So now it's telling me unlock the ultimate day doesn't make sense. Like this world class copywriter is not world class.
It didn't do so well, huh?
Yeah. But you can keep playing with those prompts. It's right. Prompt engineering, we've all heard of it, and see what gives you the best result. And then
Very
you can
interesting.
go do this side, try the same thing in GPT-4 or Bard or what's the other one I use? I like to use Poe. So I don't know, Chris, if you have used Poe as much
I've
as
not
I
used
have.
Poe.
So Poe has all these models in it. And what's crazy about that is, and we're talking about using AI, not just Chat GPT, right? So I can copy this, go into Poe, and here are all my bots, and I can choose. They have Claude Instant 100K, which means you can put in 100K characters in there. They even have Facebook's latest one, which is Llama. So I can say, okay, let's use that and see if I get any better results. And it just goes off.
Yeah, yeah.
And what I like to do is, because all of these are free, or most of them are free, if something says limited, then you have to pay for it. For example, ChatGPT limited access, I'll have to pay for that. So I can go in here and use Poe's own bot called Claude and do the same thing. And then it goes and rewrites, and I can say which one is giving me better results.
And then you can start focusing on that one. And it's probably better results based on what you're trying to do. So some things may do better at short copy, some may do better at long copy, some may do better at headlines, etc.
Yep. So that's the first thing AI can help you with, is landing page copy. The next one I have here, Chris, is blog post outline.
Which is
So you
very
have a,
similar to landing page copy, right?
yeah, I could be,
Yeah.
but a blog post outline, and you have said this topic a lot, right? Which is writer's block, how
Yes.
to overcome writer's block. So I can say, give me a blog post outline about that. So let's put that in. And this is, instead of you just researching or starting from scratch, you at least have a
Hmm.
canvas to start with.
Yes. And that's how I like to use ChatGPT, this other AI, as a starting point, right? To help stir ideas. Because sometimes you can just really hurt your brain trying to think through all the points you might want to include. You have to go back into your notes. Or really, what most of us do is we go on Google and we start researching what other websites have. And this is the same thing, except for it's doing all the research for you.
So I put that in ChatGPT, put that in Poe using their Claude bot. And again, it just starts spitting out ideas how to overcome writer block. It's giving you the introduction, it's asking you what to write in the introduction, then it's giving you the high level bullet points of the body of the blog post, and then also the conclusion. Same thing in Chat GPT. You can see it has given you the introduction, given you sections. What is writer's block?
Hmm.
Strategies that work. How do you write start a writing schedule, mindfulness and relaxation techniques. And now you don't have to do that research in 20, 30 different places. You're just asking this one place, and then you can go off doing the rest of the research.
What if I want to do keyword research? Can I do that too?
Yeah, let's go for it. So now what we can say is, continuing this, we can say, give me the top 10 keywords that people use to search for this blog.
So is this doing a essentially Google search for that information, or is it just making them up?
It's a
Because
little bit of both.
you're saying, "Give me this," like it has to go out and do some work as opposed to just surmising it from what it knows.
Yeah. So it was last updated August 3rd, but also we don't know what kind of data it was fed. So I feel like
Mhm.
it's a little bit of both. For keyword research, I personally try to stick to keyword research tools, and
Yeah,
simple ones like Keyword Chef really are really good to get the job done. But this you can also cross reference against those tools.
okay. So he's typing in, "Give me the top 10 keywords for this blog that people might search for." And it spits out a whole bunch of them, like writer's block solutions, defeating writer's block tips, finding writing motivation, strategies for breaking writer's block, and so on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Now
good.
you can do the same thing, right? I can take this, go inside of Poe and type it, and it's gonna do the exact same thing, but this time I might get 10 different ones. And then I can cross reference and see which ones were not included, and then include those to have 20.
Pope breaks it down and gives you some additional reasons why they chose the words they did, because it starts off by saying, here are the keywords people may search for. So it is definitely coming up with it on its own. It's not using like a Google intelligence of what others have used, but then it tells you why it shows those particular titles. Very helpful.
Yeah, Poe. I found Poe, Chris, to be one of the most helpful ones with this extra suggestions that others don't give.
All right. So now I know you have a whole series of things that you can do on YouTube. Why don't you walk us through those?
So this is something cool, Chris, and I've been doing this for our podcast. Here's your video that you created last time, how to start a podcast on your course topic. So let's just view it on YouTube because this is what I do.
Wow. That, now,
All
okay.
right.
Now, this is a handsome guy here.
Yeah. Now what we can do is we can go to show transcript, right? And I
Yep.
am going to copy this entire transcript. Any clue what I'm going to do with this, Chris?
I'm assuming you're going to paste that into Chat GPT.
Absolutely. I just copied the transcript. I'm going to say, write me a YouTube video description about the following video. And because ChatGPT cannot surf the web, I just paste the transcript and boom, here's my video description, Chris. I don't need to write the video description. It just summarized the entire thing by reading the transcript.
Very. So let me look at it just a second. I want to see if this is
Yeah.
what I actually talked about. So it says, welcome to the latest episode of, I'm not sure. It doesn't understand what I'm saying, but yeah, the podcast with me. In today's section, I'm following flying solo as we delve into the exciting realm of podcast. I've noticed that ChatGPT uses the word delve all the time. I don't know if you've noticed that. It says that all the time. Today, we'll explore the intriguing idea of integrating a podcast with the topic. Let's dive in and discover the wealth of benefits it can bring. And this is a natural extension of expertise, the symphony of marketing and authority, the economics of podcasting. You might wonder about the cost, right? Okay. Authority building made simple, which is kind of like the other one. Embracing the simplicity, yes. And crafting your podcast path. That is pretty much it. Very nice.
Now watch this. Here's the next step, right? Or give me 5 YouTube titles for this video podcast. So now it's going to give me the YouTube title ideas that I can just take and put in our YouTube channel. So that was one of the things I do, the titles, the descriptions, and then you can also, if you're planning your episode, you can just ask ChatGPT to write the script for
Right.
you. But you and I like free form, we just
Yeah.
eye off the cuff, so we don't really plan our script in here. But what I can do is I can ask, give me a thumbnail idea for this video. So now it's going to give me a thumbnail idea, which then I can take, put it in ChatGPT, put it in Midjourney, and create a thumbnail.
Really interesting. Wow. Really cool. Okay. Yeah, I can see how all this would be helpful. And really for things like YouTube descriptions and titles, I'm always like, oh man, I got to think up this stuff. This would be so much easier.
Yep. Now, because you and I record in Descript, Chris, we already have the transcription
That's
and
right.
we can just copy paste it from Descript into ChatGPT. But eventually, Descript will do all of that for us and we won't have to use
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So now that we have the YouTube title and the YouTube description and the thumbnail, the next thing is to promote it to our email list. So why not just go ahead and write a cold email to my list promoting my latest YouTube video mentioned above, and I didn't even clean up my typos.
And it totally understood exactly what you were saying. Oh, look at that. It even gave you great emojis.
Oh yeah, always does.
Which is
So
interesting because the emojis are something that you would only want to use in emails. And so it seems to understand that, okay, you're writing an email, it gave you a subject for the email. Like it's giving you a very smart answer.
now, similarly, you can use this email technique to, let's say you're doing a product launch, you can use Ask ChatGPT to write a series of emails and
Mhm.
continue to be in that same context window where it will continue to use hooks from the previous email to write the next email and add those cliffhangers and hooks so your audience can keep coming back and opening. Now, here's
Very
something
nice.
cool that I like to do, Chris. I like to ask it, let's just copy this email that it wrote. And I'm going to say, tell me the read time of the following text. So when in the pre-header, I like to put 2-minute read time because ChatGPT is going to tell me the estimated read time for this text you provided is approximately 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Nice.
So what I'm going to do is in my pre-header of my email, I'm going to say 2-minute read. so that people know that it's only a 2-minute time limit.
Nice. I like that. That's clever.
Now, let's keep doing this. The
Hmm.
next thing I would do as a course creator is I have this, let's just use this exact video as a lead magnet. Tell me, how can I convert this video into a lead magnet? And then
And it's going to
at
give you the
GPT,
answer.
yep. So it's saying choose valuable content, create a resource, create the landing page, put an email capture form, link to the video, and then a download link on how you're going to give them the video with a follow up email sequence and distribution materials, and then optimize that page for conversion. Then you can keep taking this a step further and saying, okay, let's write the landing page copy for this for this lead magnet.
Yeah.
I'm typing that out now, but these are just some of the ideas on how you can use AI to continue to get benefit and use it as like your personal assistant.
Very nice. Yeah, it really is. It's like having a whole personal system for all this, and it's digital. Nice.
Absolutely.
And of course, I assume we could do the same thing with our courses to do an outline for our courses, just like we did the podcast, or just like we did anything else. We could do the same thing for a podcast itself. I want to do a descriptor, a full outline for the podcast.
So I
Even
just
though
said
you
create a
you and
course
I spent
outline.
hours on ours.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, create a course outline for a course about understanding writer's block. So it's given me the module and the lessons, and it's broken it down into, holy crap, 10 modules with 30 lessons.
Yeah. A
But there you
lot of
have it. And
modules.
it's even put in bonus materials where you can add. So it's even smart enough, or I shouldn't say smarter, right? It's learned from us humans, but it knows that with an online course, you're going to give away bonuses. So it's put in the 3 bonuses here, which is, hey, if you buy this course, you're going to get writing prompts and guided visualization and writing accountability resources.
Yeah. Really cool. Yeah, it seems like you could use it for just about anything to help you get your production done, just to really move through it a lot quicker, smarter, and very thoroughly.
Absolutely, Chris. Have you been using it for in any such way, or how have you been using it?
I've mostly been using it to do things like YouTube descriptions, our podcast descriptions when we have to do those, not well for this podcast, but also for our other podcast that I have, which is a podcast on writing. And it's scary for a lot of writers because they look at some of the stuff and think, oh my goodness, this is going to replace some of what I do. And it does replace some of what we do, right? And I think there's still a lot of room for creativity out there for, yeah, writing YouTube videos. And that's why I said at the beginning of this, when we started the chat, was that there are things that don't really matter, right? We don't really care about them. No one really wakes up and thinks, man, today I really want to write a good YouTube description. We
Hmm.
do it out of necessity. And we learn all the hacks of all the ways you have to include keywords and all that sort of thing. It's not like we're being super creative with it. We're just trying to make sure that our video can get seen. And things like ChatGPT and AI can help you create that very quickly so that you don't have to waste your time on things like YouTube video descriptions or even titles. You can let them, or and at least even if you don't like exactly what it does, it gives you a place to start. So you're not just starting with a blank page, you're starting with something. And like I said earlier, a lot of us would be doing YouTube or Google searches anyway to see what others have done. This essentially keeps you from having to do that YouTube or that Google search.
But that's all I had, Chris. So let's do a quick recap. What we talked about was landing page copy, blog post outline, keyword research, YouTube. Similarly, you can do it for your online course, you can do it
Yep.
for podcasts, you can do it for landing page. You can just, the possibilities are endless.
Emails, funnels, lead magnets, yeah, generators for outlines. It's endless. It's really just amazing. Wow. You know what else was amazing is the fact that y'all have been listening to the Course Wizards podcast. And we thank you for joining us today. We thank you for every time you join us. We hope that we're helping you teach anything online. If you've enjoyed this podcast, we hope that you will rate, review, subscribe, and share. I can get very fast with those words right now because you know how many times we've said that on this podcast? I used to stumble over what is it, rate, and then what? Review? Yeah, rate, review, subscribe, and share. And even though we go over those quickly, we really hope you will rate every time and review it when you like it. Subscribe to it if you haven't already on each channel, and then share it with someone else who can benefit from it, because we believe that's the way that this can grow. And other than that, we're just happy to be here. We're happy to help you teach anything online. And what's that, Amit?
That's the course wizards. See,
SW. He's making hand signals with it. Very good. Until next time, I think it's most important to say, what should they be doing, Amit?
they should be keep creating and keep using AI.
Talk to you later.
You know.
Bye.